It's time to rock and roll!
We'll just gonna do a cold open, like we're like in some sitcom or something like that. Hello, welcome back to another episode of the Waffle Press Hangouts. I'm your host, Diego Crespo. With me today is my co-host Gina Versa from across the pond today.
Yeah. I hope I don't look sleepy or anything or tired, but I think I'm fine. Yeah.
No,
Long day of
we're getting
conning, I
I'll give the listeners and the viewers a heads up, and Eugene, like we're getting a slight delay once in a while for you. Most of the time you're okay, but you're just getting
Okay.
it. So if there are, just bear with us.
This is
Gene's been coming through clean and everything like that. Gene put this
yeah.
together. Gene wanted to do this episode. He was insistent in a positive way, not aggressive. Just like, no, we can do
hmm
an episode while I'm basically on vacation. I want to talk about the Super Mario Brothers movie, and he did it. And he brought along a guest with us today, Matt Acevedo. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Hello, I'm stoked, man. I'm really happy to be here. This is so fun. I'm excited to talk Mario with you guys. Like, I love geeking out about Mario. Mario's my
Cool.
guy. So I don't have nearly enough podcast time to talk about him. So I'm so thrilled
Yeah.
to be here.
Yeah, it's the whole podcast just on the Super Mario Brothers movie, which just came out. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Before we get into all the Mario goodness today, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you and Gene meet, for example?
Oh, so yeah. So I'm a producer. I worked at G4 with Gene. We had a lot of great triumphs, a lot of weird stuff. It was a whole mixed bag. But the best part was I got to meet Gene and a bunch of other great people there. So yeah, but
Yeah.
before that, like, now I'm at a company called Hyper Rabbit Media. We do like a bunch of stuff. Like, we're like a boutique production company doing stuff for like Amazon, AMC, and all that kind of stuff. Primarily focusing on virtual production as well. And before that, I did stop motion animation with Stupid Buddy Studios. Worked on like season 12 of Robot Chicken, Santa Inc., and Ultra Say Smiths. Was at Disney before that, doing all a bunch of videos for branding, content marketing stuff for all their partners, Pixar, Lucasfilm, whatever. And then I'm a host outside of that too. I do like red carpet premiere hosting for like Crunchyroll and Funimation. A lot of anime stuff is like
Yeah.
what I do. I've even hosted a Nintendo like before they started the Nintendo Directs. The first thing they did was something called Nindies at night, and I was like one of the co-hosts for that. So that was really cool.
No,
Yeah.
that's really
Yeah.
cool. I didn't know we had a stop motion animator on the show. Gene, I love stop motion. I've never dabbled. I
hmm
love it though. I think it is an incredible art form. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Thanks,
so
man.
cool. Especially Robot Chicken. I think we're all Robot Chicken fans here. We grew up in the era where it was coming up too.
Yeah.
So it was
I
Yeah.
like,
love that.
That factory, man, it's pretty nuts. Like they're in Burbank. They lost like three of their buildings with the last year, which is unfortunate. But like they would set up stages in like a small room, like think of like a maybe
Oh,
8x8 room, very small little curtain rooms, and they'd have like 50 of them going on at the same time of people just doing scenes in those little rooms. So it's like it's a machine, man.
no, it sounds like it. But yeah, that's so cool. Yeah, so I see the pop culture crossover that gets us to Mario G4, this era that we're all coming up from. Um, I guess let's talk a little bit about like our thoughts on the movie when it was first announced. I think historically, video game adaptations, I think they're having a better reception
hmm
now. I go to bat for a handful of other movies that I liked, even as adaptations. There's like one or two that I will defend.
Yeah.
But historically speaking, not the most successful endeavor. When this version of the Super Mario movie came out or was announced, what did you feel, Matt?
As a Mario fanboy, I was pretty stoked, but I'm not a fan of Illumination. I kind of find they have really great pie in the sky ideas and they fail on their execution. So immediately that was like my fear. So I was like, yes, I'm so because I knew that if it was Illumination, it's gonna look great. It's gonna be like the motion scenes are gonna be great. All of that's gonna be great, but the stories might be like not the best. And that literally from the moment we heard that announcement, that was my fear. But I'm happy about. I was like super stoked to get something. When I saw that first trailer, I was like really surprised, and that first trailer got me really really amped about it. So yeah, for me, Illumination has a weird track record for me. So
Yeah, I'm not trying to work there. I'll say it. I
Yeah,
think they're
it's very
not
sporadic.
successful at making stuff I enjoy. At least little kids seem to like it, and like this is the big takeaway. I want to go in with the Mario discourse in general.
Yeah.
If like your kids are
Mhm.
liking it and stuff like that, like obviously when someone's criticizing it, they're not attacking your kids. If they are, they're an asshole. I generally don't think that's the vibe having
Yeah.
going on with this discussion lately. But just remember, if a child's enjoying something, you were a child once too, you enjoyed something that you maybe look back upon as like, what the fuck was that? Like
Yeah.
it's clearly not a good movie. Why did I like that? It's normal. It's part of life. Keep a level head as we head into this discussion. But yeah, like I'm not a fan
Yeah,
of the Illumination guys
yeah.
either. But Gene, you and I did an episode on it. Why don't you go ahead and relitigate your thoughts a little bit before we get into the movie discussion? What did you feel about this announcement?
Yeah, no, I felt really like cautious and just like I feel like just the elephant in the room was like just Chris Pratt as like Mario. I'm like, okay, this is a decision right here that they're making because it's like I don't know, yeah. When I think of like Mario, I don't know, I think of like just the like let's go and he has like, the Italian accent and it's just getting into like I don't know, yeah, someone that's like not a voiceover. And then also too, like I just I was thinking about Mario doesn't really talk. Like no one really talks in the games, right?
No, they just do little catchphrases provided by Charles Martinet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
He was great. I don't know. He was cool, yeah. So yeah, that's just kind of like an initial thoughts. Just I'm like, man, how could you yeah, make kind of like a narrative out of you know, a
Yeah.
game where everyone barely talks. So,
I
but
think
I was
Yeah.
excited because I like Mario, but yeah, it was a challenge.
and to add on to that too, I do remember when another thing when they got announced is that I didn't want Mario and Luigi to talk. At the beginning, because we didn't. I don't think we knew a voice cast yet. We didn't get that until Nintendo Direct later. But I didn't want them to talk. I wanted them to be like Charles Martinet reacting to stuff and everyone else around them like talking. But that was like my
Yeah.
original thought.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Where it's like, I would argue one of the problems with the original 90s adaptation, which I don't defend, but I do find fascinating as like a cultural artifact. I did an old podcast episode on it. Go check it out. Um, it's I'm not going to defend it here. It's just like
Yeah.
No,
it's
I'm totally get what you're saying. I'm with you.
yeah, it's so interesting, but it's like, the struggle with that movie is like
Yeah.
there's no story to these games. You as the player just have to strategically hop around and on different things and slide around in this game, and it's a standard bearer. It is genuinely brilliant, uh functionally, aesthetically, like all the pieces click except for narrative because it's not focused on that. So like what do you even do with the Mario movie? Like later games sort of have stories, but even then it's like,
Yeah.
they're platformers. They're not. The Last of Us, I think, is the other thing. It's like the complete opposite of that. It's the inverse of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was
Yeah.
my big concern going into it too. Um, I'll let the both of you handle this for a second. What did you think about the actual movie? Now that we've seen it and it's all here, we can talk about the voice actors up top if you want, or we can just
Mhm.
dive into the complete spoiler thoughts. I guess you like this isn't even a negative criticism. I'll just get this out of the way. You know what's going to happen in this movie because it's a Super Mario Brothers movie.
Yeah.
Totally fine. But yeah, I guess Matt, what did you think?
I fucking loved it. I think it suffers from the Illumination kind of problem where there were some ideas that weren't fully executed or abandoned or but overall I think like I had a really fun time watching it. I think there were so many Easter eggs as a Nintendo fan. I thought that was really fun to like keep an eye out, keep an ear open. I thought the soundtrack was awesome. They like I don't know how like they like who did the soundtrack again? I can't remember. Brian Tyler, right? I think it was Brian Tyler who did like
Brian
Guardians of the
Tyler.
Galaxy. But he like
Yeah.
snuck in so many little nuggets in
Yeah.
the soundtrack that just kept me like, oh, yeah. I honestly overall I really liked it. From a story perspective, I think it could have been a lot. There were things that you could have done. I think it needed 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes, give like some beats in between some of these
Yeah.
segments because it just felt like it didn't stop. And like there were some really cool ideas in there that we didn't fully explore. I would have liked to have seen. I wanted Mario to kind of like earn it a little more. Like I would have liked to have seen. Are we okay to talk spoilers? Is this like a spoiler? We're good,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, go ahead. It's the Mario. Like you know what's gonna
All
happen
right,
in
cool.
this because you've
Yeah.
played all the
Yeah,
games.
totally. Yeah.
I actually I just think from a story perspective, I really wanted like because Mario's the whole thing that I loved. I love that connecting line of like, oh, as long as we're together, like we'll be safe. I love that, but I think they needed some sort of like a fallout. I didn't like that they just happened to disappear from each other. I needed like them to kind of like have some sort of it's like cliche in movies, but I think it needed it like a fallout of like, oh well, I'll just do it on my own then, and then like, oh, I can't do it without my brother. I've never really felt that.
Mhm.
I really wanted that because I thought at the end when Luigi finally steps up and they like get the invincibility star together, I thought that was really cool. But it would have been more rewarding if we had seen a little bit more like just some time. We just need I think 10 more minutes for like all of this would have really flushed out a lot. It's a tight 90,
Yeah.
dude. It's a tight 90. They could have like it just felt like it didn't stop. It's like, yeah. So I
Yeah,
loved it, but I think I have criticisms.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're a normal, well-adjusted adult who doesn't have you don't plant your flag on like everything's perfect or everything's the worst thing ever. So it's appreciated.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you
Gene,
disagree with me, get fucked.
yeah,
Is this that kind of podcast?
yeah. You can say fuck. You
I'm
can
just
say the
kidding.
7 curse words you can't say on TV here. It's
No.
fine.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You
Yeah,
can't say. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
But just
Gene,
yeah.
what about you, my friend?
Yeah. No. Yeah, I agree with Matt on that point where I'm like, the editing of that movie felt like I'm like there was like it felt like there was like a deleted scene like in certain parts of this movie while I'm watching. I'm like, this is like really dark. It's just like I don't know when he's in like Kong Island and it's just like from like when they like try to like negotiate with the Kongs to like him fighting Donkey Kong. It just felt like there's like a lot happening and it's like stuff was just like not like it wasn't explained, but it was just like it felt like it was happening really fast. Like the game was like they were speed running the movie,
Yeah, I
you
agree.
know?
Yeah. Even like the
That's
wedding scene, it's like, well, we're gonna get married, and it's
Yeah.
like you got the flower. I'm like, holy shit! So the first time I saw it twice already. The first time I saw it, I went to the bathroom.
Hmm.
After Peach had like gone with said yes to Bowser, and then when I came back, he's like frozen. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I wasn't gone that long.
oh my God. I
Yeah.
didn't even consider that. Because
Hmm.
for me, I didn't have to go to the bathroom because it's so much shorter. Like we've had
Yeah,
some
Yeah.
longer movies like Avatar, John Wick 4, this is 3 hour
Mhm.
like epics. And I'm like, I'm not gonna drink a drop before I see these. But this one I was like, yeah, I'm gonna grab a snack real quick. And I wasn't worried at all, but I never considered if you actually
Yeah.
left, you just missed like the whole climax. Oh my God.
yeah. I was
That's
like, oh,
wild.
yeah. I was like, wow, that was fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say too, like Mhm. Oh, yeah, no, I was gonna say I like really appreciate like the like story wise, like they really not like they like understood the rules of the like the video game because it's like they're just power boxes in like it's never like explained like how a power like they explain how a power box works like oh okay this gives you like fire this makes you bigger but they never like say like why this is here it's just it's there this is a part of the movie this gives people like powers and it's just like I don't know yeah I thought that was like really neat that they didn't like try to like break down like everything it's like this is based on like a Mario game like of course there's gonna be
Yeah.
power boxes you know.
And I love that too. I thought that was like pretty. It's they know that their audience is aware of this stuff, which I like that. And two, I will say, even though it is fast in a way that's kind of like I mean, I think it could be stronger for a movie if they just took their time. But there's to Mario, to me, there's like this freedom of movement, and that's why we love Mario, right? I think we love Mario because we can run and jump and hit this brick, and he's like the first game that really feels like you have freedom to do whatever you want, kind of a thing. And I think, and especially with movement and speed, and I think the movie kind of reflected that in a way. We're just going so fast, to its success or demise. I do think that like it felt very like freedom of movement for a Mario movie.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
am
Yeah.
less positive on this movie by like I did not like this movie.
Okay.
I'm not angry about it because I'm a mostly well-adjusted adult. Because it's a movie for kids, it's for babies. But I'm also like, I do think it could have been stronger. And I do basically agree with your points too, Matt, where it's like it does need just like little moments here and there to kind of not to pad stuff out, but just like bolster what's there. Like there is clearly like an attempt at making stuff like Bowser, maybe he's like it's like toxic masculinity or something like that. And Mario and Luigi, we open the film and they kind of have like these chips on their shoulders about maybe not living up to, you know, their legacy in a way,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, that's something they have to overcome. They can't overcome it separately. They have to overcome it together. But the movie never like does anything with that. It's like they're there and like you can even see it, you know. I'm not asking this to be Into the Spider-Verse, which is like the peak of recent American animation, maybe. But we also just did just see Puss in Boots too, and that was really good for some reason. Like why was that so good? But I was kind of hoping I'd get at least like the joy like of the speedrunning thing, but I really just did not get anything from it. Like it really did just kind of wash over me. And it didn't make me like not want to or want to play the games anymore. Like it was almost like a separate experience entirely to me, where it was just like, oh, this is a thing I did for 90 minutes of my life, and now I'm gonna go. And
there wasn't like a single thing you liked about it.
I like that it's a very colorful movie. Like I'm not being facetious. Like I really do like that it kind of keeps it doesn't kind of, it does keep the designs, keeps the poppy color schemes. I liked you know what? I did kind of like the Luigi stuff. Like I don't think there's a lot there either. Like
there
again,
needs to be more Luigi stuff.
Yeah.
I needed more Luigi.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. And like it really does like kind of sync the movie to separate them without making it a conflict. Like it's something that happens,
Yeah.
And it's like if the linchpin of that was stronger, where it's like they're flustered, like you were saying, and then they get separated. It's like, oh, you don't realize what you have until it's gone. It's like a basic. Yeah. You mentioned like a cliche, and it's like you're so right, but it's like they're cliche because they kind of work a lot of the time,
Exactly. Yeah.
It's like this is gonna make more money than
sometimes
God, so maybe I'm just
it's already like tracking like 120 something like $1 million for like the first like couple days, right?
It's
worldwide.
It's gonna make so much money.
I and just to add to your point, man, like another thing I didn't like, it's just half-baked ideas in here. They start off by calling Mario small. Everyone's like, oh, you're so small, and then like he doesn't ever like accept it. It's like, oh well, I guess if you're small, just take things that make you big and then you're fine. Like there wasn't like, I was expecting in a final showdown for him to like use his like wit or like his like plumbing skills or something that like that when he's small be like, oh, I don't need to be big. I don't know, there's like little things like that, because I felt like, oh, you're small, eat a fucking mushroom, grow, like get big, you're fine, like it's like it's either get rid of that completely or double down on it. I just feel like it was middle. It's half baked, and that's Illumination. That's like all of Illumination.
I generally am not this way with movies where I get excited about like the cameos and Easter eggs anymore. Only because there's been so many franchise stuff that has done that. I'm only human, like seeing the Nintendo stuff. It's cool. Like that's I'm trying to leave more positive here, but like it's just cool. Like I don't know. I'm a human being. I like things, like I didn't know Mario was gonna get the little cat costume. I was like, this is weird. I thought they'd save some of these bullets for a sequel because they clearly want this to make sequels and is going to make sequels.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's so many power-ups he's got, man. We like next movie, Metal Mario. Get Metal Mario in there. You know what I mean?
Mario.
Or use the cape, the super cape, you know, or like use the penguin costume or the frog costume. Like there's a lot. There's so many you can play with. Or the fucking spinny top thing. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the voice cast real quick. Gene brought up the Chris Pratt thing earlier. I'm gonna toss it to you, Gene, and then back to Matt. The voice cast overall, how do we feel? Highlights or negatives? I'm sure there's been a lot of discussion about negative, but like let's talk positive really quick.
Sure. Yeah, I thought like Pratt was actually pretty serviceable as like their interpretation of Mario, where it's just like he's just like this New York guy with like a New York accent, you know? I'm like, that's actually fairly good. I wasn't expecting that. Like, because I don't know, just everyone felt like a certain way. But yeah, it was good. Like Charlie Day is like really sweet as like Luigi. Like, he plays that role like really sincerely. It's just like, and they get like Luigi's like personality because in the games, like he's not like scared, but he always like doubtful of himself,
Yeah.
And yeah, Anya was great. I really enjoyed like Jack Black is like Bowser, but of course because he's like Jack Black. The one that I'm kind of on the fence on is like Donkey Kong because Rogan just plays himself. I'm not sure how you guys feel.
Yeah, I feel that.
But yeah, he doesn't really voice act.
He's just himself, man.
Yeah, I'll say I liked
even does the laugh.
Yeah. I think either with Rogan, you either love or hate. There's no middle. I think it's like, because I think people loved it in my audience. People freaking love the Rogan voice. They were like cracking up at everything he said. But yeah, I think I don't know. I'm like, I don't really care about Seth Rogen that much. It's the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it. I think I'm the middle of the road guy. I'm like, whatever, but I think overall I was pretty surprised with the voice acting. I thought actually everyone did a pretty good job. I thought Pratt was actually pretty good. But highlights for me were definitely, I thought Jack Black was so fun. He was really like the only character I felt like took liberties. Like it was like Illumination, Jack Black, and Nintendo all like came together to give this kind of creative like identity for this film version of Bowser that I thought was really great. He just felt really special to me. I love the punk rock metal aspect of it. His song is really funny. I even love it when he's just like or they're just partying and he's like, let's rock. He's like starts headbanging. Like these like little Jack Blackisms I think really worked great. I really love Charlie Day. I thought he was great. I thought Anya Taylor-Joy was like, sometimes her delivery felt a little flat to me. But then other times if it was great, I thought, I don't know if like it must have been the direction or, I usually fault things on direction rather than the voice acting. Cause as someone who's done voice acting, like you don't know sometimes what the fuck they want. It's like, oh, just say this line. And it's like, there's no reference or anything. And then they just splice it in, so, but I felt that with some of her lines. I like some of them felt a little dry, like weird to me. I thought the one I hated, I really hated this voice, was Fred Armisen as Cranky Kong. And I'm like, what is with this? Like, why is he like stereotypically Jewish? Like, I don't know. And like, if you want to do that, like, why didn't you cast Larry David? Like, it was just weird. I'm like, why? What is this voice for Cranky Kong, man? Like,
Larry David as Cranky Kong is the greatest casting suggestion I've ever heard in my entire life.
Thanks, man. Illumination, you hear? You can still fix it.
Yeah, someone has to. God. Yeah, that Cranky was weird, dude. That was like that was really strange. I was thinking about it. I'm like, what's up with this? It's like, yeah, and also, I don't know. Yeah,
that was weird. The biggest one. God. That was a bit. Oh, I think a highlight for me was the Luma. In general, I needed more Luma. I fucking love that little nihilistic new Luma. So big fan of that Luma. I'm excited when we
Yeah.
get maybe all the Lumas are this like dark, you know.
That would be amazing.
Mhm.
I would see the sequel for that alone, frankly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but overall, I was surprised, man. I was actually really surprised. Honorary nod, honorary nod. I loved Mario's family personally. I could have lived in that Brooklyn scene for like another 5 to 10
Yeah.
minutes. Like I just love seeing Mario, Luigi in Brooklyn doing their Brooklyn shit, and like his family is like Italian American Brooklyn, and I'm like, oh, this is great. I could watch a whole movie just on that. I thought that was so fun. Uh, yeah, so I love that like the dad also goes like Mamma Mia. It's like, oh, it's a genetic thing. It's great.
Yeah. That's mhm.
Yeah, I never
Yeah,
considered it a
Charles
genetic
Bonet too.
thing.
He was the dad in Ant-Man 2, whatever that was.
Sorry, you
Yeah.
broke up a little bit more there, Gene. Could you repeat that one more
Yeah,
time?
what'd you say, Gene?
Oh, I'm sorry. Gotcha. No, yeah, I was just saying that yeah, it was cool to see like Charles Bonet just at Mario's dad, and then he was also Jumpman.
Oh yeah, Charles. Yeah, he was Jumpman. Yeah.
Yeah,
When
thank
he,
you for helping us clear that up too, Matt, just to bounce it all around. So
Yeah.
yeah, he was talking about Charles Martinet, and how Charles Martinet was like Jumpman and his dad, which is really
Yeah.
cool.
hmm Yeah, I mean, it's nice that he's in it. I do like that. They didn't just
Yeah.
discard him. I think
Yeah.
there's an unfortunate trend with some adaptations. Like, I get it, you want to put your own stamp on stuff and everything like that, and so, but there's a recent trend that seems to be bringing in like the original voice actors in some capacity from video game adaptations, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I will say I really liked Charlie Day, and I mean, who doesn't love Charlie Day, right? Um, Jack Black is so fucking good in this. He is so good as Bowser. If the whole cast had his energy, and a lot of that is material. I'm going to give the movie a little credit. I'm not trying to hate on it. I didn't really get anything out of it. But if the rest of the movie had his energy, at least of that character, I would be singing a different tune right now.
Yeah.
It's like it's so entertaining. Like I'm gonna go watch clips of that performance, like when they're uploaded to YouTube in however many months. Like that's like the heart of the movie for me. It
Dude, I
was
totally
so
feel
much
that.
fun. Yeah.
And I just speaking of Bowser too, like I just love that his story was literally, yeah, I love Peach, I'm gonna marry her. I love like, oh my god, they're actually just going to go with this plot, and I think he executed it so well. I loved his little sweet moments. It's like I brought you these
Hmm.
flowers, Peach. Like I hope you like them. Like that kind of shit. Like oh, I love that man. I thought he was a really really great casting choice for it.
Yeah, he definitely stole the movie for me.
Yeah. Inspired.
Yeah. I sort of a Chris Pratt actor defender. He's definitely someone I think who needs to work with stronger directors. And I like
Yeah,
the
I agree.
directors of this movie. They did Teen Titans Go. We've been a very pro Teen Titans Go podcast. You know,
You're pro Batman's parents dying.
I mean, at the end of the day, who isn't?
Yeah.
No,
They just throw him in there. It's like
it's so evil. That was a moment where like my jaw hit the floor when I was watching that.
yeah, man.
I think Chris Pratt is he's both a problem and obviously not the problem. I think he could have been directed significantly better to provide more. I think the same thing with Anna Taylor-Joy, who I'm a huge fan of. I mean, she's more than just like a scream queen. She's clearly got like the juice to be a continually great actor, regardless of the genre.
Yeah.
And I thought Peach kind of didn't really have a lot going on. So
Mhm.
her performance kind of doesn't have much to hang on, and the same thing with Chris Pratt. Like, I'm gonna give Gene some credit because he called the New York accent early on. He's like, yeah, it's gonna be subdued. It's not gonna be Mamma Mia, you know.
Yeah.
So, but credit to Gene for that too. But I didn't. I still just thought there wasn't enough there. It's like hints of something. It's sort of like you can tell when people are kind of half-assing stuff, like anything like at work or whatever. Like you can tell when someone's like, you're trying, but you're not really trying. Like they're gonna fuck up because they're not really trying. That's what I
Yeah.
kind of felt from this version of Mario. at least vocally. But,
Yeah.
yeah. I hope that wasn't too mean. I'm really trying to like not be a downer on this one.
Diego, you could not like stuff, man. It's totally cool.
I know, but it's like
Yeah.
I'm
We gotta
trying.
have nuance again, man. You know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, what do you think we handled the best in terms
Yeah.
of like the Nintendo stuff? Like, because this is a pretty like accurate adaptation of the entire universe, basically. Like, it's not every Super Mario game, but it's like everything they pulled from. It's like, yep, it's just like that. It's just like that. It's just like that. I guess what was our favorite stuff to see there?
My favorite thing was the world building. I thought every single like area they went to was really well done. I thought it looked amazing. And if you get a second rewatch, just look at the background characters because that's where I think the movie really excels is like all the shit going on in the background. Like one of my favorite things is like these toads, like they're all doing different shit, or like all the Kongs are doing different things. But my favorite is like at the wedding scene where the Peach busts out like the frost flower, the ice flower. King Babam is so shocked by it, he literally passes out. He passes out in the background, and then Peach. Next thing before you see him again, he wakes up and Peach fucking like lights him on fire and he blows up and dies. Like what a terrible sequence for King Babam. Like he's just like he's so shocked, and it's like when he wakes up he blows up. Like, but it's like those background details I just really really like seeing. And the Easter eggs I thought were awesome. I could spend so much time talking about, like, did you see the R-Wing on top of Mario's TV? Of course, we have the Duck Hunt bar in Brooklyn that was in French. The freaking balloon fight mechanic guy. There was a bunch of Odyssey references, like there was a Crazy Cap, Tostarena, Desert. We got the Bomb Battlefield. Just I can list it. There's just like all the shit. Like I recognized everything, and I thought even like listen to the sound design. There are things there that weren't physically on screen. When Luigi's in like the Deadlands, you can hear boos going, like you can hear their cackle, but you don't see them. It's just like it really made me feel like I was in the game. I remember it just like it triggered all of the nostalgia bombs for me that like made me really happy. And I think like that's story aside, just the world building and the audio I thought was really awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree with that too. Like,
Yeah.
it's a fun world
just
to
the
be in, you know?
Yeah.
I was gonna say the fact that they used the Donkey Kong rap for like a verse. Like one
Yeah.
whole verse of like the Donkey Kong rap, the worst rap song.
You take that
Like
back.
that's the best.
You sing it all the time, Gene. I know you.
Uh, I sing, yeah. I was playing it like right before the screening, just like because we were just like waiting. I'm just like, there's nothing to do. Just play the Donkey Kong rap.
Yeah.
God.
I also loved just the move when we got to I love how they transferred the platforming element into the movement of the characters. I thought that was really cool to see in a movie. When Mario gets confident, you see him like put his arms behind him, he does the triple jump, he does a wall jump, like just seeing the platforming elements of it made me really happy. It was cool to see that on the screen because in Sonic we didn't really see that. Like he does Sonic moves, but we never saw like the gaming aspect of it, which I thought was cool to see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that is something that like I can appreciate. And like the Mario games, even though they're all platformers, like the way they evolve, like with technology and stuff like that, it will genuinely be interesting to see like how much they take as they adapt the sequels. Like are we going to get a Super Mario Brothers Sunshine movie instead of just Super Mario Sunshine? Is it going to be Super Mario's Mansion, right? Super Mario Brothers Mansion instead of Luigi's Mansion, right? We're gonna get a Donkey Kong spinoff, or maybe all those will be spinoffs or something like that. And it's like I do think the material is there to kind of make them like fun kids movies at the very least.
Yeah.
And to the point about the Donkey Kong rap, got to shout out the creators who were not credited for this movie.
Yeah, that's
Unfortunately.
crazy.
That's very unfortunate. Let me grab their names really quick. Because they
Yeah.
should be credited. Charles Ritz and Tyler and Jazz.
Yeah, we're crediting them right now.
Yeah, there you go. Take that, Illumination. No. But yeah, just credit them. Give them some back end or something like that. Like it's a joke in the movie. Like it's Seth Rogen talked about it in the press run for it. So just give them their flowers, you know?
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
yeah. Also, it is funny. Like I don't think it's great, but
Yeah.
it is a funny like thing that exists. Another fun cultural artifact, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Gene, how are we doing over there time wise for you? Are you hanging in there?
No, no, I'm hanging. Yeah, I feel good. Yeah, the
Okay.
sun is not up yet, so that's cool.
Okay. Okay. Oh man, I have to do some trimming this episode for voice stuff, but that's okay. It's that British Wi-Fi. Yeah, Gene just had to move over to his phone. Some behind the scenes editing to cover this up. Okay, I guess we just speaking of sequels, let's talk about like where do we want to see this go? You know, for me, this did not succeed in being able to convince me that they can tell like an exciting narrative, but that doesn't mean there's not stuff I don't want to see. So I'll get my stuff out of the way so you guys kind of bounce around other ideas. I love Luigi's Mansion and Paper Mario. Those I think are my two favorite like Mario related things. So I don't know how you do Paper Mario with this. I just like that game a lot. So
Yeah,
that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I'd want to see.
yeah. You could adapt like the I don't know, maybe the
Super Mario
elements.
Luigi's
Yeah, like maybe the elements
RPGs.
of like the games. Yeah, right.
I mean, I mean, there's a huge rogues gallery from the RPGs that they could pull from, which would be awesome. But I think it's gonna be. I don't know if they're gonna go as deep, maybe as like cameos, but like I don't think we're gonna get Fall Lawful from the Limelight Kingdom, showing up to wreak havoc. But that'd be cool. Or Gino showing up. Can you imagine at the end of the credits and like the smoke clears in the sewer and it's Gino and everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh!
Oh, okay. What'd you guys think? Like full on spoilers, but the fact that the after credit scene, it's like it's Yoshi, but it's like they copy the ending to Godzilla '98. The after
That's
credits.
funny.
Like I don't know, was that? Do you guys think that was intentional or was that just like?
I don't know if anyone's thinking about Godzilla '98. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
Gene.
I don't.
I felt like I'm like, am I the only one that like just noticed like this is a Godzilla '98 reference? Like the
Um,
Yoshi.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet, considering how much more hands-on Nintendo was for this version of this, that
Mhm.
they weren't like trying to do a Godzilla '98 reference. But I want
Yeah.
to believe you that that was intentional. That they were like, let's just do it. Let's just
See,
reference something so out of left field.
no one's
Mhm.
gonna know. No one's
Yeah,
gonna.
no one's gonna
They
know.
No one's
just
gonna
they
know.
really like Godzilla '98. I don't know.
Yeah,
Great ad
But
campaign. That Taco Bell ad campaign was so good.
oh,
that
with the
was like a
chihuahua.
legendary ad campaign. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
here, lizard, lizard, lizard. It's still in my head.
Yeah. God.
Well,
Yeah.
I think the Yoshi reveal would have been much stronger if they didn't show the fucking Yoshi Island on their journey.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I mean, I know it's the Yoshi, but like, we saw like a whole bunch of Yoshi. That would have hit
Mhm.
better if they didn't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping that the fog was a fart and it was Wario. He's like, but I do, I do think Wario will probably show up in the next one, uh, as like some. I think the next one will be like, Wario's like, oh, I kind of look like this guy. What if I go around as like an imposter and like, and then Mario's like, hey, and they're like, there's an imposter, and like maybe like we get some loose Mario Sunshine references. Maybe it's like a collab of Wario meets Bowser Jr. and they team up because Bowser Jr. wants to avenge his dad with Koopalings, and like Wario
Mhm.
wants to, have the hero name. So maybe they frame Mario, and then like Wario becomes like a fake hero, and Bowser Jr. tries to steal. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like maybe there's some sort
Yeah.
of. I think it's Wario and Bowser Jr. next, and the Koopalings. That's where I think that's the logical. I don't know how Yoshi's gonna tie into it yet because Yoshi's in our world. I'm like, are they gonna do that? Are they gonna do Yoshi like?
Yeah.
Are they gonna Sonic this where it's like in our world the whole time?
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't
They
even
have,
think consider that. I agree
yeah.
with the Wario thing though. To me, yeah, like you, it's clear as day. It's like obviously you do Wario next. Like,
Mhm.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
if
yeah.
they have like a Parks and Rec alumnus voice Wario too?
I'd be happy because
I'd be
I
happy with
still love
that.
that show. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd roll with that for sure.
but they're gonna have to. Yeah, because Yoshi's in our world, so I don't know, man. It's like I also don't know like what happened to our world after like everything happened. I need one more like I need 10 more minutes, bro.
Yeah,
That's the
there's a lot to
overall.
clean up. There's a lot
Yeah,
to clean up, right?
Mhm.
It's just
yeah.
like
So
God.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's like I would love a Luigi's Mansion type of thing. I think that's going to be the third one though. I think you have to, like, Boo, some sort of like Boo has to show up in the next one that that wrongs King Boo somehow. Well, King Boo was at the wedding, so maybe I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I, because King Boo is the one who captures Mario and puts him in a painting.
Hmm. Maybe,
It's tough.
yeah.
It's tough, man. I would love a Luigi's Mansion movie though. That'd be sweet.
Yeah.
There you
Same.
go. This is how you make it Luigi's Mansion and Paper Mario. So King Boo takes Mario, puts him in the painting, right?
Okay. Okay.
Luigi has to save the day from the outside. Now Mario is trapped on the inside of these painting worlds, and then you introduce the specifically Paper Mario characters, but instead of paper, it's like painting and all the different art styles and stuff like that. So there you go,
Oh,
elimination.
that's pretty cool.
Take it away.
Yeah. They're
That's a
just taking
freebie.
pictures at this point, right?
I'm going for anything. You know, if they do that, I'll be there day one for the sequel.
Yeah.
Did anyone else recognize this? By the way, this is another deep cut. So, Gene brought out the '90s stuff, so I'm gonna bring it out too. Okay, when they were like trying to be heroes and like fix that pipe burst in Brooklyn and the sewers, they totally pulled a Warriors of Virtue. I'm just saying they pulled a Warriors of Virtue. They went across
Huh.
a water pipe and then they fell into into like the water sewer.
Yeah.
Warrior, I don't know. Maybe they are pulling from Godzilla and Warriors of Virtue.
Maybe.
Do
You
you
know
guys do you
what?
know what I'm talking about? Do you know that movie?
I don't,
Yeah.
but I'm excited. You're excited.
You don't know that movie? It's
I'm
terrible.
sorry.
It's atrocious. It's like Kangaroo Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You gotta watch it. You guys would. It's right up your guys' alley. It's like a bad movie that's like it made a lot of money in like Asia.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
like biker mice of Mars. They're just like throw whatever in, like whatever like is like Ninja Turtles, like but won't get sued. We won't get sued for it, right?
Yeah, no. Um, yeah, I guess final thoughts, and then we'll wrap up for the episode. Matt, thank you for joining this episode. It was great to meet you.
Likewise.
What you last thoughts then? I guess yeah. What do you have for last thoughts, and where can people find you online also?
Yeah, for sure. Overall, I'm really happy it was made. I had a lot of fun with it. However, I think we could have had a stronger film with just like really basic stuff added to it. So, if I were to give it a rating, I'd give it a good. I'd give it like a 7 out of 10 on like an IGN scale because I still had a lot of fun. I saw it twice. I still had a fun time the second time. But it definitely could have been like much stronger. But yeah, and Bowser's the king, and I freaking love Jack Black and Bowser. So yeah.
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 Oh, and you can find me at on socials and stuff at the Matt Acevedo, and yeah, I don't know. Check out my Mass Effect tabletop podcast.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I
It's called
actually will.
Adentum.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we've had like a
love
lot of
Mass
cool guests
Effect.
on. We had Mark Meir on, who's the voice of Commander Shepard on like a couple times. He was played a Vorcha. It was awesome.
Oh, that's sick. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
everyone check that out. I'm gonna check that out too.
thanks,
Uh,
man.
yeah, this was great meeting you. This was great talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
We'll have to do it again sometime. You can
Absolutely.
find all Gene and I's links down below. But Gene, final thoughts for the movie.
Yeah, no, Mario, it's fun. Like it was a really fun movie where I came in just like having the expectations of this is like basically a kid's movie and like just going on for like a ride and not expecting like this deep lore building story. Maybe if it was like Legend of Zelda, but like, it's a Mario movie, so at least it's fun. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. I didn't find it very fun at all. But I
All right.
also just like I do think it's okay to ask for things to be sturdier. And I think even the most positive like reviews of this that I've heard and reactions, whatever, I think everyone can agree, like, even if you liked it, like, okay, that was good, but we can do more. There can be
Yeah,
more done to make it better, and hopefully they do next time, especially because we're gonna get a lot of these now. So
Yeah.
thanks everyone for listening. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. If you didn't like this episode, like and subscribe anyways, because you might find something you do like. Again, links down to Spotify, iTunes, Patreon, everything down below. Thanks, Gene, for setting this up. Get some rest. Matt, again, thank you so much.
Yeah.
We have been professionally unprofessional. Have a good one, guys.